Okie dokie. Let's see if this works. Awesome. It looks like it might be working. Hold on a second. Yay! It works. Awesome. Alright, I fixed something. So the chat should also be showing on YouTube right now while I'm streaming. And sorry for the echo. I'm just checking for audio at the moment. It looks like everything is functioning fine. Okie dokie. Alright. So good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, or maybe even good morning. I don't know where you are at. So it's good evening from California. I just got back from work. And now we are jumping straight back into our lesson today. So it's Tuesday, so it's grammar lesson day. We are going to continue off with session 32. If you guys have not watched the 31st session, we did have a deep dive research on a grammar expression that people use in everyday conversation. So if you have not watched it, please go watch it. It's been interesting. I suffered basically trying to understand the concept of using literally, figuratively, and hyperbole all in one go. And yeah, it was just a rabbit hole of a lot of things to discuss there. And it was fun. I learned a lot of new things there myself. So I hope you guys will give that a watch. I especially encourage intermediate and advanced English learners to just watch that video, just because I feel like that'll definitely help those who are trying to have a much more natural speech and understanding slang. And yeah, that's the best I could discuss it. Alright, so for session 32, we have our English for Everyone chapter 12 and 13, other than our greetings, and then questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions. This stream, we're gonna go a bit quick. I don't know if I'll be spending a lot of time like I did before on the vocabulary section, because today is kind of a tight schedule. I still have to do my next stream edit for tomorrow and the day after, and that'll be it for this week's conversation stream. And yeah. So, greetings. I just came home from work. Well, actually, I shouldn't say I came home from work maybe 4 hours ago. I needed like 40 minutes to decompress. So I just sat in my car, just decompressing, watching a video. And I had to package my order for my Remarkable application. So, sorry, not my application, but my Remarkable little tablet. If you guys know, I shattered the piece. I accidentally dropped my phone on top of it, and it shouldn't be an issue because back in the day, I've dropped my phone on it many times and it never cracked. But I think when I dropped it this particular time last week, one of the shards in my phone smashed into the screen and just basically pushed the glass into the tablet. It might be really small, but that was enough to cause a spider glass crack damage on it, so it ultimately became unusable. So I can't even retrieve all of my information in the tablet, which is unfortunate because I'm hoping no one reads it, not even the producers or the creators who make it. I hope if they have it, they just don't look at my stuff, because I do have private information on there. Nothing that's too bad in terms of like, oh, private information. It's not that kind. It's more like I wrote a lot of like venting, ranting, and I'd prefer not for people not to read that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was like my diary. So I have a section there for that. And yeah, as far as I know, that was as much of a sensitive information there. Other than that, I had a lot of assignments from my master's program because I've had the tablet for 4 years now. I remember I ordered it way back before or during COVID when it took place. And I was one of the few, I was one of the pre-trial or pre-order customers. That's what I was looking for. And basically, because I was one of the pre-order customers, they gave me free Connect, which is basically the monthly subscription for having internet access. And I have that for life, maybe. I don't know. But I have it as a thank you gift because I ordered it before it became popular. So yeah, 4 years later, that app blew up on Instagram. I see commercials on it all over Instagram, all over YouTube, all over any social media or games app. I see a commercial on Remarkable, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm one of the OGs, yay. Come in, Remarkable, come and get me. Make me one of your advertisements too, please. Please sponsor me. I've been working on your app for I've been using your app for 4 years, and I use it for everything. So honestly, my honest opinion of Remarkable app, it's a game changer. I love it. It has helped with my eyes in terms of reading so many documents since because of COVID, I had to look at the computer many times, and my eyes get tired and dry, and I also get headaches from looking at a screen for long duration. So even the glasses that I'm wearing are blue screen reflected, and you can tell because you can see a blue glare on them. So what that basically does is that it tries to reflect all the blue light, and it's not good for my eyes. So I wear this whenever I'm on the computer. Usually when I'm streaming, I take it off just because it can be a little distracting seeing myself and have the white glare from my light get in the way of that from time to time, and it might also be a bother for you guys who are watching. So today I'm keeping it on because I'm feeling tired, and I think I might feel even more tired if I take off my glasses, or it might give me a headache because this day has been so long for me. It's been cold, it's been raining, so yeah, I'd rather not have a headache anytime soon if I take off my glasses. Other than that, we're gonna go ahead and jump straight into today's lesson. We have English for Everyone, chapter 12 and 13. We will be spending at least 90 minutes as far as I know, and also it's because it just really depends on whatever the session that's being covered right now. It can lead up to 90 minutes, and I try to keep it at 90 minutes maximum just because if we try to study within 2 hours, sometimes our brain starts to shut down and we're tired. And it happens a lot to myself too when I'm teaching someone. For example, let's say I have a private lessons with a student for 2 hours. It got to a point where my brain just stopped working and functioning because it's just overloaded from looking at English, talking about English, all my linguistic application being thrown out there, and the students also making more errors in our session because their brain is just tired. It's just been overloaded with so much information, just can't keep going, And I think that's just normal for everyone. So recognizing that experience, I try to keep myself at 90 minutes max, no more than that. Okay, so we have our vocabulary today, so we're focusing on clothes. So today's stream will be focusing on fashion, and if you remember from last stream, and if you have not watched that one, you should watch it before this or maybe after this stream as a reminder of what you learned, and it was about describing, right, the adjective order. We will be using the adjective order for chapter 12 and 13 because it's all about describing clothes, and I feel like this is important because sometimes let's say in my case, I was meeting a friend for the first time. We never met each other beforehand. We met each other through on Discord because we were in the same community together, and we decided to meet each other in person. So my friend and I, we were saying, oh, this is what I'm gonna look like. I have this is what I am wearing. You're gonna find me because I'm wearing this, etc. So describing clothes are useful, especially if you're meeting someone for the first time and they describe to you what clothes they're wearing, to help identify them in the crowd. Also, hey Hans, good to see you here again. You didn't have to show up for this one because it's just grammar today, so don't worry. But thank you for the support and always being here. I always appreciate when you're around. But yeah, thanks for the company. All right, so we are here on chapter 12, vocabulary. We have t-shirt, shirt, collar. Oh yeah, I should probably repeat this 3 times. So I'm gonna repeat this again from the beginning. I'm gonna say it normal, slow, and then normal again. So feel free to, if you are watching this after I posted the stream, just pause the video and then just repeat after me if you want to get close to the pronunciation that I use, which is Southern Californian, if you guys care about what kind of accent I have. So we have t-shirt, t-shirt, t-shirt. We have shirt, shirt, shirt. Collar. 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 Shorts. 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 Blouse. 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 Tie. 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 Next we have suit. 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 Next one. Pajamas. 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 So, I don't know if it'll help. I'll probably put a reference here. If there's more than one syllable, the stress is coming from here. So, pajamas, right? And then here we have t-shirt is just a compound. T-shirt, it's because it's just a compounded word, both of them are stressed. So we have T and we have shirt. And here we have collar. We have the stress on here. Shorts is fine, blouse is fine, tie, suit, they're fine. Okay, moving down, we have dress, dress, dress. Skirt, skirt, skirt. Next word, cardigan, cardigan, cardigan. Ooh, actually, interesting. I think the stress is on cardigan, cardigan, cardigan. Yeah, the stress is in the beginning. Here we go. Cardigan. There we go. All right, next, pants, pants, pants. We have, for UK, trousers, trousers, trousers. We have jeans, jeans, jeans. Next, we have sweater, sweater. Oh, sorry, I should say it slower. Sweater, sweater. We have UK, jumper, jumper, jumper. So interestingly, in I think the US, when we refer to a jumpsuit, for example, which I'm assuming is kind of drawn from jumper, I think of like a one-piece suit. Is that what they call it? Onesies? Oh, never mind. I'm thinking about onesies. So if you guys don't know what onesies are, they're basically like a huge, like a body size outfit that you typically wear to sleep. So they're called onesies. I thought it was like referring to jumpers. So onesies are typically like sweaters in a way, but you wear it as PJs. But yeah, I was thinking about onesies for some reason, so I apologize for that. Next word, we're gonna go with coat. 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 The next word is jacket. 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 Oh, actually. Yes. Because like the thing is, whenever I'm checking for the stress in the pronunciation, it's often because I'm thinking about, am I stressing the first word or am I stressing the second? So we have jacket, which is 2 syllables. I'm thinking about, is it the vowel with a or e? So if I say, for example, let's say I mispronounce it, someone might say jacket, right? So this, where's the stress? It's in the ending, jacket. And that doesn't sound right, at least in US pronunciation. So it's not jacket, it's pronounced jacket. So the stress is coming from the front. Next, we have raincoat. And again, this is basically a compounded word. They put rain and coat together. So they're kind of essentially pronounced the same, I believe. I'm going to say it again and double check. So if I say raincoat. Oh, raincoat or raincoat. It sounds really weird. So I think it's pronounced as raincoat. So they're both, again, they're both stressed because they're technically two separate words, rain and coat, put together as a compound, and then you have raincoat. And they're both stressed in this manner. So again, raincoat, raincoat, raincoat. And notice the T is kind of like dropped. I do say raincoat, but the T is not enunciated, or the word is basically aspirated is the technical word for it. Aspirated means you're making the that sound. That's called aspiration in linguistics. So a lot of the times when the T is at the end, we don't always aspirate it because, I don't know, US speakers, I don't know if I can address to all of them, but as far as I know, with Californians, we drop our T's. So we don't aspirate it, we just say raincoat. And then we just leave it at the like as if we're just swallowing the aspirated sound. Raincoat. All right, next, socks. 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 Good. We have boots. 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 Next word, shoes. 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 This is another example. Remember how I told you guys in the last session? I don't know if you remember, but if you watch the video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. These dashes. See how these words are combined together? This is your adjective. Right? So what kind of heels are you wearing? High heels, right? So you would say high heel shoes. In some cases, so the shoes can be dropped in terms of creative writing. So let's say you're reading a book, like, oh, what is she wearing? She's wearing high heels. So we can drop shoes because it's implied. We know what it looks like. But sometimes people might say, oh, she's wearing some sort of high heel shoes. When we said high heel shoes, we're using it as an adjective. So we don't know what kind of shoe it is. We just know that it's high heels, and it's because this is your heel and it's high. That's what it is, essentially. So high heel shoes basically means we don't know what kind of shoes it is. We don't know if it's some sort of stiletto. This is a stiletto, by the way, and you know it's a stiletto because you have very, very thin heels here. So if you want for reference, I'm gonna type in here for Google. Google, where are you? There are different type of heels, just so you guys know. Sorry, I can't spell right now. So if we're looking for stiletto, they show you right here that stilettos are typically ones that have those needle-like, very thin heels. So it's a specific type of heel. So I'm just saying this as note for those of you who don't know type of heels here. But they do have a lot of names. I mean, there's other versions out there. If you type in pumps, so high heel pumps, which are different, they're the ones that have a much more thicker base, I believe. Or they might even be like thicker at the front here, which is crazy. But yeah, we have different styles and names for them. So they're slightly different if you were to look at different type of heels. But yeah, these are stilettos. So you can actually call them high heel stilettos. If you say that, that means it's super high with a very narrow heel right here. So that's like an indication for those of you who wear heels. And I say those of you because we're not saying it's just gender for female exclusively. There are males who prefer to wear heels as well. You know, like I see a lot of really cool, amazing male personalities on Instagram who can walk with heels, and I'm like, goodness, he can walk really well. And it's, you know, it's just like, it's not exclusive for just women anymore, since we are in 2024, guys, so keep that in mind. Next we have, oh yeah, So forgot to mention here. So like I mentioned, since it is kind of treated as a compound word, high heels are basically two singular words put together. So they are both stressed. You will say high heels, high heels, high heels. So if you are really nitty gritty about like the pronunciation, I would say heels is a little bit longer in terms of holding out the word. If you really care about that kind of stuff, you can say high heels. But technically the way I say it is that I'm treating them as their individual words. So I can say high heels, high heels, you know? So there's really no difference between them with its original separate phrases. It's just for this, you might think that heels is a little bit longer, but I'm actually pronouncing it the way it's supposed to be pronounced when it's singular by itself. All right, moving on. We have sandals. What is this vibration? Sandals. 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 So the stress is coming from here. Also, welcome Nita Neuralista 6417. Nita, thank you for joining me today. Next we have sneakers. Sneakers. Oh, sorry, let me stress that. Sneakers. Sneakers. Then we have our UK trainers. 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 Good. We're moving on to accessories and styles. We have hat. 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 We have purse. 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 Or in the UK, they say handbag. 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 So again, I'm treating these as if they're separate words. You say hand and you say bag. Put them together, handbag. So it's basically the same stress when they're individual again. It's just in this compounded word. It sounds like hand might actually be longer, but I think personally when I hear the words hand and bag, it's just still the same, handbag. But if you were to argue, and if you really care so much about where the stress is coming from, I would argue that the first syllable would be it, handbag. But in all honesty, I just feel like they're both the same. I don't really feel that much of a difference, but this is just, if you're really nitty gritty about it, it's right here. Next, we have scarf. 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 Next, gloves. 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 Next, we have laces. 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 We have belt. 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 Next, buttons. 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 Yeah, I'm hearing the sound is more at the front here. Next, we have zipper. 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 And for UK, we have zip. 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 So notice, again, I'm not really aspirating and not saying zip. I'm not doing that. I'm saying zip. And it's like a very, kind of a little quiet P sound. So again, it's not like we're aspirating it. All right, interesting. We are here at this expression. So I think this word here would be more UK because we don't use this word in US English, or at least when I go to work, we actually have an attire for this and we would call it something else. But first, let's go ahead and go with the pronunciation that they provided here. The word that they use is smart. 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 So again, if you dress something like this, I would say it's not smart. I would call it professional. And also, sorry, my board is kind of slanted, so I need to fix that. Okay, so I think in the US we call this professional or semi-casual. Or business casual. We go by a lot of names. So yeah, we have multiple names to refer this style of clothing. We don't call it smart wear. We call it professional wear, semi-casual, or business casual. So the reason why I say business casual is because it looks like the top looks a little bit fancy, something you would wear in a professional setting, whereas the pants here, they don't really look like regular jeans or pants. They look like something that's kind of fitted. It could probably be leggings too if the shirt was very long and covers the lower appendages, maybe up to the thigh. So we would technically call this semi-casual or business casual. So it maintains that professionalism, but we don't call it smart around here. All right, so looking at this, we can tell this is very informal, so we would call this casual. Again, casual, casual. So again, the stress is located here with casual. I'm so sorry, I forgot to identify this for the US. Professional. So the E here is where the sound is being produced. Professional. Professional. This one. Semi. I think the I is stressed here. Semi. Oh, no, it's not. It's the E is still the pronunciation. Because if I were to put semi, it would be semi. Semi. And that would not make sense. So it's still semi-casual. So again, two singular words or lexicons that are put together. We are going to be looking at their individual stress. So we have semi. Semi has the E being the stressed word here. And casual, ca is the stress. So semi-casual. Then we have business. I noticed my S disappeared. Business. So biz is the stress. Business casual. Business casual. Business casual. All right. So we already know casual here. So again, casual is the stress. Okie dokie. We've arrived to clothing materials. We have plain. Next we have polka dot. Polka dot. UK spotted. So again, it kind of depends on maybe where your location is and which is more popular in your everyday speech. Because I know for UK, they can probably say it's spotted, right? They drop their T, and then they would use a glottal stop by saying, spotted. So that that you hear me making is like a glottal sound. So it's like saying, oh, that little hiccup in the middle between and o. That is called a glottal stop. So UK tends to say that. I'm not sure, to be honest, if they do say spotted. Maybe in some places they do, but I can't address it for everyone just because, again, I'm not a British speaker. I'm not from the UK, so I don't know exactly if that's correct. If I were to have someone who's a good reference for UK, I would definitely ask them. And then notice as well, you might say spotted. So when I say it like that, there's an aspiration, or we might say spotted. So you don't really hear the aspiration because there's two T's next to each other. It kind of takes the aspiration away. So I say spotted. So notice the aspiration's gone versus spotted. But yeah, I rest my case. But the stress here is definitely at the O. Spotted. Next, we have the word striped. 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 So, if you guys remember the ED rule, I think I covered this in a previous stream. Because we have P here, P is a, what do we call it? We called it a voiceless consonant. So I'm gonna put that as a shortened, and cons for consonant. So voiceless consonant basically means that you aspirate the sound. There's no vibration when you say that sound. So when you say pig, the P sound is aspirated. It's voiceless. There's no sense of vibration. But if you say the word pig as a whole, P-I-G for pig, the vibration takes place when you say the I and the G, because all vowels are vibrating. You know, when you say A, you can feel vibration. E, I, O, U, A, E, A. So I'm using all the vowel sounds in US English, or maybe English in general. All of them vibrate when I'm touching this area. So like basically my collarbone, you're gonna feel that vibration, and if it vibrates, it's voiced. That's what it's called. So P, when you say it, stripe, it's not aspirated here. So because it's called voiceless consonants, there's a rule for ED that if ED shows up, the past tense ED shows up after a voiceless consonant, the ED will sound more like a T. So striped. Striped. You can hear me say a little aspiration for the T. Striped. All right. Next we have checked. 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 You know what's also interesting is that we don't say checked over here. My goodness. I might be wrong for saying this. We might say the word checkered. For the US. Checkered. And I'm also gonna type it here. If I write here, for example, a checkered shirt, the pattern should show up exactly the same. So as you guys can see, we don't call it a oh, it says here too, women's checked shirt, ladies. And then here on Etsy, someone wrote it as men's short sleeve black and white checkered shirt. So as you can see, we do use both of them. But in most cases, when we're talking about this specific design, which is quite popular in one specific clothing, as far as I have seen and also that I own myself, we call these flannels. So we don't call it like checkered shirt. We would say it's just a flannel. And this is a flannel, this style in particular. So it's kind of funny, we kind of avoided calling it checkered or checked shirt. We just call it flannels. So it's a type of style. So I actually want to look into it. So flannel versus checkered. There might be some discussion about it. Oh, interesting. So let's get rid of the image. Oh yeah, plaid is another one. Flannel versus plaid versus checkered, what's the difference? So flannel is a fabric. Checkered is a type of pattern. This is interesting. And I feel like it's worth looking into just because we can see a difference between them. So bottom line on flannel versus plaid. Flannel is widely accepted, generally used term for any flannel shirt with plaid pattern on it. Flannel is a fabric. Plaid is a pattern. So we actually do call this plaid too. We have another name for it. So don't be mistaken by seeing AI next to each other. It's pronounced plaid. So So flannel is a fabric, plaid is a pattern. Plaid shirts can be made from flannel as well as from any other fabrics. Flannel shirts are also made in solid colors, not just plaid patterns. Not all plaid shirts are flannel, not all flannel shirts have a plaid pattern. So what is the difference? It's just flannel is a type of fabric. So this is a flannel, and this could be just called plaid. Yeah, the type of style for it too. I'm trying to see more. So he's wearing a plaid outfit. Like, it looks like a flannel too. A plaid flannel. But anyways, I digress. Before we jump straight into another rabbit hole, we're just gonna stick around here. Also, I noticed Han said, yes, checkered. Vijan de Ignacio SJ joined. Hello, welcome. Great to have you here. Hope you're enjoying today's stream. All right, so we do have a lot of names. We're talking specifically the pattern on this, so it would be checkered or it would be plaid. And then I think it's UK that calls them checked. We don't call it that. But yeah, that's the ones I know. And then I think the reason why I called it flannel was because I remembered it because I had that specific pattern on all the flannels that I own. So I associated it as flannel. So it's not. So not all plaids are flannel and not all flannels are plaid. Just remember that. Because flannel is a fabric, plaid is the design. So this is called plaid or checkered if you are in the US. All right, so thank you for jumping into that rabbit hole with me. We're now looking at the hats here, which is perfect because it's so cold in California right now. So I'm looking at hats to wear as well. So we have a woolen hat. And then the spelling is only different for the UK. Woolen hat. Or, again, woolen hat. What's interesting is we don't really call it woolen hat. We might call it wool hat. Or the better word that we do use it for is a wool beanie. So we call it a wool beanie because wool would be describing the fabric that's being used to design it, but we would call this essentially a beanie. So you can call it a hat too if you want to generalize it, but if people are being very specific on the kind of hat it is, you can just call it beanie. And most beanies are, I believe they're mostly made of, not all of them are made of wool, they have other fabrics, but I have my own beanie as well. So what are most beanies made of? Oh yeah, it is wool. So they are made from wool, cotton, blends, or a synthetic material and tend to be soft, warm, and stretchy. That is correct. So they are made of wool. So again, we would not say just wool beanie. Again, the reason why we would say wool beanie is that if it's mainly made of wool, oopsies, no, I don't want to hear this. We have okay, genuine wool. Okay, so you can tell this is made of wool by that design alone because it's like mostly made of wool. I don't know. I don't know if there's other ones. Like this one is more obvious. I can tell this is wool because you can see by the design, or sorry, not the design. You can see at the fabric, it's really thick. So I could call this a wool beanie. And as you can see here, they also wrote it here, wool blend beanie. Again, wool hat. They went with a different word. Pendleton beanie. Beanie again. Another beanie. So you can see specifically if you are in the US, I believe, we would often use the word beanie as our go-to expression for this word. And the stress is the B-E-A part, beanie. All right, next we have silk scarf. So again, we're treating it as two separate words just put together. It's just silk scarf. Also, welcome Twinkle Annika, good to see you. Coke, Harada Drak, good to see you too here. We're gonna go ahead and continue with today's session. We have denim jacket. Denim jacket. So underline the E and jacket. for distress. Denim jacket. Then we have leather bag. Leather bag. Leather bag. I would just call this a purse or a bag. Yeah, we just referring to this as just bag. To make a difference between this one and this one, I would actually call this a clutch. This would be a clutch bag. So I know for English, we are trying to keep it simple. I would call this a clutch just because of the shape of it. So we're gonna go into the design. As you can see, the shape of it is it's quite rectangular, so that's why I argue that it's called a clutch bag. It's more rectangular. Clutch bag, clutch pouches. But if you're looking at purses, I have a different idea of what a purse looks like. Let's see. Yeah, like purses look like this. But we can go into the specifics next time. Again, it's just a huge rabbit hole of just describing what kind of bags there are. But for the sake of simplicity, they call it purse. They try to call it handbag in UK, but if I were to be honest on what the design is, it's more of a clutch bag. Just because this is something you would wear if you're going to a fancy restaurant or if you're at a special event. Instead of carrying a wallet, your clutch bag is technically your wallet. So you put your phone, your credit card and important cards, bank cards in there, and yeah, that's essentially your clutch bag. And then here would be more of, I don't know if I want to call it leather bag because all bags are leather bag. I mean, not all of them, I take it back. But fancy bags or expensive bags are typically leather bags. So in this case, this could be a handbag or shoulder bag, like this, for example. How frustrating. So we have handbags here. So you can see the design of handbags. Slightly different. This one can kind of pass off as a clutch bag, but yeah. Commonly known as purse in North American English, it's a handled medium to large bag used to carry personal items. It has also been called a pocketbook in parts of the US. Interesting. So I can vouch that in California, we don't call it a pocketbook. We just call it a bag. All right, next, we have cotton socks. Cotton socks. So again, it's like a compound word. You throw them together. You want to like treat them as individual words. So we have cotton. So the is the underline or the stressed vowel sound, whereas socks is just one syllable, socks, right? Again, we don't say the word cotton socks unless it's specifically necessary. We just typically just say socks. Drop the cotton. We don't need to know that. Because what else would we call our socks? It's just talking about fabric. So cotton socks, kind of default. So you can just drop it and just say socks. That's it. Next we have suede boots. Suede boots. Suede boots. You probably might have heard this if you guys listen to Elvis Presley. He talks about his blue suede boots. Suede boots are really nice, and they're also very kind of hard to clean because they can get dirty really easily. But suede is the type of material. So it feels like, how do I describe suede? Suede is like soft and kind of, it's like, the best way I can describe it is if let's say I give my rabbit a haircut, or your pet. If you give your pet a haircut and it's so clean, like the hairstylist or the pet groomer would shear off their fur. If you feel your pet afterwards, it's like almost as if all of the hair's all bunched up and soft, and you can kind of feel their skin underneath it, you know? That's why I describe suede. It feels like that to me. That's the closest feeling I can think of, because suede is very soft, but if you like even though it's very gentle and soft on the fingertips, if you put pressure, you can kind of feel the firmness of the material. So it kind of it's kind of reminiscent of a pet's skin in a way. So that's basically suede, and it's quite accurate just because suede is basically sheared off animal skin with the fur patchings on it still. So that's essentially what suede is. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I'm just saying this from what I draw from my memory and watching most expensive stuff on YouTube, and I watched someone create like suede stuff as a product that they're selling in their shop, for example, and I just remembered something like that. All right, next we're looking at clothing sizes. We have small, medium, large. So small, 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 medium, 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 and then we have large, large. Okay, and I see Vision de Inacio SJ put a party emoji. Thank you so much. I don't know why it's not showing properly on here. Okay, there it is. So for some reason on Discord or on my Streamlabs, it wasn't showing your guys' chat popping up here. I just clicked it, now it works. So sorry about that. Also, John, you're here. Hello, John. Good to see you. That's my best friend, you guys. One of my besties. We have now moved on to short sleeves. Short sleeves. Short sleeves. And this one, long sleeves. Long sleeves. Long sleeves. So, for example, what I'm wearing right now is I'm wearing long sleeves, a long sleeve hoodie. Yeah. Technically, I can kind of drop the expression long. I would say, in general, I'm wearing a hoodie. Basically, the assumption is hoodies are what keeps you warm, so the assumption goes that it is a long sleeve, right? So we would just say hoodie, not long sleeve. We know what it looks like, etc. But if you say short sleeve hoodie, now that's interesting because that tells you that someone modified the long sleeve and decided to cut it. So it would be called a short sleeve hoodie. And typically people would address that because the automatic thing that comes to mind when you say hoodie is something with long sleeve, like I already mentioned. So to say short sleeve hoodie, that tells you something was modified. And yeah, if you want to go into specifics of detail in that direction. All right. We've now arrived with chapter 13, what I'm wearing. The present continuous is used to talk about ongoing actions that are happening now. It also describes the current state of things, such as what a person is wearing. So key language, present continuous. The present continuous is formed using the verb to be and the present participle. So the present continuous uses the verb be. And remember, be changes every time in terms of what is your subject. So we have is, you have am, and you have are. So it'll change to one of these three. Then the verb will add the ing to the main verb, and we have she's wearing a red dress. Also, wait 1 second. I think I need water. My throat is getting parched. So give me 1 second. 1 second. Oh wait, let me just do this one. Why don't I just do this? Hold on a second. You're probably gonna hear me just move around and shuffle a little bit, and that's because I need water. Here's some ASMR. Oh yeah, and since you guys are on BRB right now, technically you could see this. Oh dear, wait a second. I used the wrong BRB. It should be this one. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so the reason why I had to turn off my video is because I have to move my camera elsewhere. when I'm getting my water, because it's actually standing on my pitcher of water. So here's my cup of water here. Oh yeah, stay hydrated. Talking for hours can do a number on my throat. Anyways, we're moving on to 13.2, how to form present participles. The present participle is usually formed by adding ing to the end of the verb. Some participles are formed slightly different. So we have the main verb, wearing. So add ing to form the regular present participles, ing, wearing. The last letter is e, so we have choose, choosing, so drop the e, add the ing. The last letters are ie, like tie. You're gonna change ie to y, ing. So the reason for this is because, as far as I know in English, at the top of my head right now, because I'm just thinking about it, I don't think we have 3 vowels next to each other. Not unless one of those vowels are being used as a consonant. That's the only thing I can kind of surmise, because I can't remember a time when we have 3 vowels in English, and usually when we have I and E here, which is interesting because I and E is the long I sound, so it can be represented as I with this sound or this line to show that it's a long vowel, or it can be represented by this in terms of IPA, I. And this is the reason why IE becomes Y is because I think it's related to the orthography, because in history, in the language history, when originally there was one sound that represented the I sound, so it wasn't just this letter I, it was split into 2, so they have I and Y making that same sound. So in terms of spelling, it's kind of going back to its roots of becoming a consonant, which produced that sound. So hence why it becomes tying, and this is more appropriate in English because, as you guys might have seen already, we do use 2 consonants next to each other. Another one here, another one here. So you can see there's some sort of pattern with spelling when it comes to English. So is there such a thing as 3 consonants together? Yes, and we could see that under the word 3 or the word struggle. So we have our 3 cluster of consonants here. So just for reference, these things here are called consonant clusters because they are consonants clustered together next to each other, essentially. So we do have up to 3. I don't recall there's a 4th. I don't think there's a 4th consonant cluster. So there's a trio, there's a duo, as far as I've seen. So that's why the spelling is affected in that sense. Then we have a letter pattern is consonant, vowel, consonant. So they're using the word hop, right? H-O-P. You have hopping. So double the last letter unless it's W or Y. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember this rule. This probably was ingrained into my head when I was in elementary school, but I don't remember it anymore. So yes, if you have consonant, vowel, consonant, C, V, C, most likely what's gonna happen is that you're gonna add the same C. So it's gonna be doubled times 2, right? So shopping is 1. Another example would be like hopping. Hopping. You have 2 of consonants here. Cut is another example, right? C-U-T, C-V-C, consonant, vowel, consonant. So we have the word cutting. So 2 T's. So yeah, there are some that do apply in that. Okay, so I see Hans put out a good example. So notice I said he put the word, why are there vowels that have, actually let me put the color here. So I love the example that you provided. The word beautiful. You might be wondering, okay, beautiful has 3 has 3 vowels next to each other. So the hint that I want to point out is number 1, beautiful is French. It's a French origin, so it's not essentially English. We borrowed it, we took it from French. Number 2, when you pronounce the word, does it sound like it is all vowels? Do you hear the E, do you hear the A, and do you hear the U? No, we don't. We hear the word beau. B-U, right? Bu. We don't say the A sound. And the word here, E-A-U, is actually pronounced as oo, right? Like an oo sound. Because I believe in French origin, if you say that word oo, it's supposed to mean water. In French, or whatever. So I apologize, my pronunciation's not the best in French. So beautiful is not an example of 3 vowels being pronounced together. So maybe I should clarify that. We do have vowels that are next to each other, but like I mentioned before, it takes on more of a consonant sound. So E-A-U kind of triggers E-U, E-U. So you hear 2 sounds only. So that's a case of where in English that doesn't work. Because another reason why is because it's French origin. So it's not English, if that makes sense. Yeah, I can go into a rabbit hole of all this stuff because it's just crazy how English is. English is such a chaotic language. But yeah, great job for pointing that out, Hans. And Hans is like nods. This is why I keep stressing out that English is such a cursed language. Because all of our rules are contradicting and not all of them are consistent. But whatever, we're here. Okay, next we have... Also, let me also update this because I want to make sure everyone can see this. And also, I keep scratching my nose because my hair is like touching it and it's dry weather. So I'm starting to have like an itchy nose. So I apologize for that. We are going to look at the next section here. We have fill in the gaps, putting the verbs in the present continuous. So again, remember, we have be becomes is if it's singular. Am is the exception because it's only I. And then we have are, which is PL plural, right? So we have I am shopping for a new wool cardigan. There we go. And we have am because I am. It's just this package deal right here. All right, so we have they blank pink cotton dresses. I'm gonna go ahead and fill it in with you guys because I only have like 30 minutes left. So I'm gonna try and finish this as best as I can. We have, I'm gonna go black for this one. They are, right? They are buying. They are buying pink cotton dresses. I am wearing new leather sandals. He, singular, is. And then it might look tricky when you say try on. This is your main verb. Remember, this one is your particle, which could also represent this entire phrase as a whole, could be called a phrasal verb. And other than particle, we can also call it a preposition. Look at all this beautiful grammar terminologies. So it can be a particle, preposition, or it's a phrasal verb as a whole. So just like we know about our phrasal verbs, it's only trying will be affected because it's the main verb, and then just leave on there. He is trying on different suits. Also, sorry, I always tend to write slanted, so I try to slant my board so it can just correct itself. Next, we have she, which is singular. She is, try to fix it, mending. Good. She is mending her yellow polka dot shirt. Cool. Oh, we have Bin, Doel, Paulo is here. Hi, good to see you again. It's my friend. I'm surprised he's here. Thanks for joining me. I'm just taking a drink right now. Alright, so we have read the blog and answer the questions. I'm gonna go ahead and read the questions first because I like to put this as reference. We have Jane finds it hard to decide what new clothes to buy. Jane is wearing a light blue dress with a leather belt. True or false? Linda Flint's cotton cardigans have white colors. 3. Jane wears a casual skirt to work. 4. No. Number 40, sorry, not no. Number 43 is a great shop for buying silk dresses. You guys might be confused because no is actually short for number. So no dot 43 means number 43. White high heels are fashionable this summer. 6. Jane is a fashion writer living in New York. 7. Jane likes taking photographs of shoes. True or false? So I'm gonna go ahead and read this to you guys. And also, if you're watching this after, yeah, just feel free to just rewind and repeat the questions to yourself, or take a look at the questions before you listen to me read this for you. So this was posted Tuesday at 11:24 a.m. Creating your summer style. Summer's coming, so it's time to think about shopping for the new season's gorgeous styles. This summer's designs are inspired by the dresses of the 1920s and 1950s. There are so many beautiful clothes this season that it makes it difficult when deciding between a cotton or wool cardigan or a silk dress. I'm currently wearing a light blue dress with a leather belt from a wonderful new collection by Belinda Flynn. Other amazing items in this collection include cotton cardigans with zips instead of buttons, and shirts with wide collars. I tuck the flowing shirts into smart skirts for work. To make the outfit more casual, I like trying a silk scarf around my waist. If I'm going out in the evening, the only option is Flynn's knee-length silk dress. Wearing a pair of number 43's fashionable white high heel completes the look. About me. I'm a fashion writer living and working in London, as well as writing about the latest trends. I also enjoy taking photographs of interesting clothes and shoes that I see when I'm walking around the city. Browsing in fabulous clothing stores, trying on clothes and buying them is my passion. I call it research. Okay. So, you can tell that she is British, and the reason why I know that is because of her word choices. So, for example, the moment I see this expression, where is it? Zips. The moment I see that word, I'm just like, British. Another one, smart skirts. We would probably have a different word for this. I would call it, again, my nose is itchy, I'm sorry. I would call it maybe a balloon skirt, maybe, or a flowy skirt. No, flowy skirt's kind of different. What's the kind of skirt we call it? I'm kind of thinking of it. Maybe poodle skirt might be better, because if I was thinking poodle skirt, let me just show it to you. There you go. So they call it poodle skirt because there's an image of a poodle. The poodle skirt is just basically a style too. It's not just a design. I don't know what to really call this skirt. It's a felt skirt with a solid color displaying a design appliqued or transferred to the fabric. The design was often coiffed poodle. It quickly became very popular with teenage girls who wore them at school dances and at everyday wear. So, yeah. I call it the poodle skirt just because of the fashion, not just the art on it. So this is another style of quote-quote poodle skirt. I don't know what to call the fabric. I'm referring to it as a fabric, but you can see there's different designs on them. That's kind of what I see here. It's kind of like a balloon, maybe twirl skirt, maybe. Definitely has 1950s feel to it, very retro. The reason why I do recognize this is not only because of TV shows, it's because when I go to swing dancing nights, I actually wear something like this when I go out. So this is the kind of outfit I would wear because when you spin, the skirt twirls out, so you kind of have a big ring around you. So I don't know if you can call them circle skirts, I guess, too. But very 1920s, 1950s. Apparently, the researcher here, Jane, says that she wears it to work, which I don't know if people still do that in UK, so I'm kind of curious to hear what people do with that. I feel like it's just very vintage is the word for it, and yeah, people, what's the word for it? I think people would wear it more for like Dapper Day, for example. Like in Disneyland, we have a day called Dapper Day where you wear 1920s, right, 1950s outfits like this, and it's like a costume day. Anyways, I'm going off topic. We're gonna go ahead and focus on the task at hand, so I apologize. Number 1, Jane is wearing a light blue dress with a leather belt. The answer is true, and I'm also gonna highlight it here. So she says it right here. I'm currently wearing a light blue dress with a leather belt. Okay? So the answer here is true. Number 2, Belinda Flynn's cotton cardigans have white colors. And the answer is false. So we said here what had large colors. Colors, where are you? I'm trying to find it. What did it say? So Belinda Flynn's cotton cardigans have light colors. They didn't say that. Oh, okay. Cotton cardigans, they have zips instead of buttons. So here, whoops. Sees. So the cotton cardigans with zips instead of buttons. And then shirts, and the shirts are the one that has wide colors. So it's the shirts have wide colors. There you go. Number 3, Jane wears a casual skirt to work. The answer should be false. We actually highlighted this. She wears a smart skirt. So what's interesting is that if I were to hear the word smart and skirt, I would kind of associate it to like fashion. I mean, technology. There is a smart dress, if you guys have not heard. I'm actually gonna pull it up just to show you guys very briefly. I think it's Apple. Apple's smart dress. I think it was Windows actually who made it. Smart dress. Technology. Smart dress video. Well, I can't remember what it was. I think my friend might actually help me on here. Also, Zen840 just returned. Hello, Teacher Hana. Happy Monday. It's not Monday. It's already Tuesday here in California, so happy Tuesday to you. What I wanted to say was there was a video that was circulating on Instagram where I saw someone was selling, I can't remember what it was, but there was a girl who was selling a dress, and it was like technology, and when I click of a button, you could transform the dress. So it's kind of like a bead, not beaded, but it's like reflective little circular ones, and it could just do really cool designs on it. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but that's what I think about when people say smart dresses, only because it's like technology. Technology has become, smart has become a euphemism for technology. So for example, smartwatch, a smart car, a smart tablet. You see what I'm saying with this trend? If you say the word smart in the US, I tend to kind of follow with it, associating it to technology. And that's how it is for me. But yeah, it's kind of different of how I perceive it here. So we have smart skirts for Jane. And number 43 is a great shop for buying silk dresses. That answer is incorrect. What was number 43? It was a fashionable white high heels. And that's the funny thing about this, is that if you look at the video, if you look at her shoes, it's not even white, it's red. So I'm just like, what about it is white? And I find that hilarious. So it's like, what? White? So it's red. I think what happened was in the design, they matched the red here because she's wearing all red. The only thing white is probably her pearls that she's wearing here, and also the earrings that she's wearing. That's probably just white. Everything else is red, interestingly. Alright, so number 5. White high heels are fashionable this summer. True or false? The answer is true. We have it right here. Number 42 is fashionable. White high heels complete the look. So we've already established that. Number 6. Jane is a fashion writer living in New York. We know this as false because we already mentioned if she's from New York, she would probably use more of the US expressions that are used in the book, but she doesn't. So she is from London. She said, I'm a fashion writer working in London. So the last one is Jane likes taking photographs of shoes. The answer is true. And it says right here. So I also enjoy taking photographs of interesting clothes and shoes that I see when I'm walking around the city. So yes. All right, we've arrived at 13.5. Rewrite the sentences correcting the errors. We have Sophie is wearing a blue cotton dress. So the spelling here is the error. We don't need that to cross off and cotton here, and then just rewrite everything else. So just for time's sake, I will be speeding up a little bit and just going straight to identifying the answer. If you want to practice this, I recommend you pause the video. If you're watching this after, we'll pause the video and then just compare your answers here. Sorry, I'm kind of like blanking out right now because it's been a long day for me. Also, I'm gonna read the chat. Zen840 says, OMG, sorry. OMG, sorry for my stupidity. No, it's fine. We are in a different time zone, so it's okay to easily get mistaken. Happy Wednesday. So for Zen, it's happy Wednesday for him or her. And then for me, it's happy Tuesday because I'm one day behind. Han said red, green, colorblind. Maybe. That's actually a good point. So I like that you point that out, that maybe the person who created the book or selected that section is possibly colorblind, so they couldn't tell that it's white. Maybe they went for red for the gloves too and the hat. Maybe they are colorblind. Who knows? All right. So like I mentioned here, I'm gonna go ahead and give the answer. I'm not gonna write the whole sentence. Typically you should, just because you get more practice out of it. So number 1, we have Alice is buying the shirt with pretty buttons. We have 2 errors here. The first one is buying. We have B-U-Y-I-N-G. Next one is buttons. B-U-T-T-O-N-S. Okay, so just spelling. But everything else should be the same. Alice is buying the shirt with pretty buttons. 2, George has 5 pairs of jeans. We have to change it to J-E-A-N-S, jeans. Okay? Another one here is that you guys might be confused, so you might say, why is it 5 pairs of jeans if we're referring to jeans? Jeans have 2 legs, right? So they're kind of treated as plural. So that's why they call it 5 pairs of jeans. Yeah. 3, Shinko loves wearing high-heeled boots. So we have, again, the spelling here. Why is this one incorrect? It's because we have consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant. So that doesn't work in this rule. So here we only need one R. Wearing. High-heeled is fine because here I mentioned to you high heel. If we are to mention as a noun, we can technically just drop off this area. So I'm gonna use blue just to show that reference. We can kind of drop off this area and not need it. We can just say high heels. If that is if we're using it as a noun. There you go. But since we're using it as high-heeled boots, we are using it as a adjective in this case. So here, high-heeled with the ed is correct because the ed here can be used for adjective. In some cases, some words use that. And then here we have boots, B-O-O-T-S. There you go. Number 4, John prefers plain clothes. So we are using the wrong plain. So this should be spelled as P-L-A-I-N, plain. The word here spelled as plane, P-L-A-N-E, means like airplane, the one that you ride when you want to travel to another country. This is another one I want to point out. People often misspell this, and it's also shown when you say the word breath and breathe. Remember, the spelling matters, right? So if you say John prefers plain cloths, you're saying a specific cloth, right? A cloth, a fabric. Maybe it can be like a hanky that you use to blow your nose on. So cloth is a pronunciation without the E. If you have the E here, it becomes clothes. Clothes. Okay? Clothes. So that's the pronunciation here. I see this problem also present in this word. So I'm going to put it in blue. So many native speakers also mess up the spelling, which is so infuriating for me. There's a difference between breath, take a breath, like to breathe at the moment, versus breathe. Breathe versus breath, breath, breathe. This is where the spelling does matter and it does impact the pronunciation. There is only one exception rule, and I am so furious. I don't know if I want to say I'm so furious at the spelling, and it's this one right here. So this is your only exception, and I hate it so much. This is the worst word, and I don't know why English did that. How do you pronounce this word? You would say dessert, right? Like the food you eat after dinner. It's all the sweets you eat. Nah, it's not. So I'm gonna type it for you. And I think this is the reason why people are confusing it. It's because of this stinking exception rule. This is not pronounced desert, right? Desert as in like the open plains with cactus and sand everywhere and the tumbling weeds. That's not desert. This is pronounced dessert. Dessert. This is what you eat for after your dinner. And this one is pronounced as desert. So now if I put here, desert. This is the only English spelling that does not follow that rule, and it's so frustrating for me because you have breath and breathe, cloth and clothes, but you have dessert and desert. What happened, English? Hello? What happened? Yeah. I rest my case. I digress before I'm gonna go freaking crazy over this, but I hate this rule because as you can see, the only one of the three that doesn't follow the stinking rule is dessert versus dessert. Desert versus dessert. And it's just like, what happened to the spelling rule? Did you throw it out the window? Did it not exist when you created this? Thanks. Anyways, we're gonna transition to number 5 and talk about Farah is shopping for a party dress. Okay, Farah is shopping for a party dress. The only thing we need to spot here is just a spelling. Again, H-O-P, hop, right? Consonant, vowel, consonant, so we need to say shopping. That's it. Shopping. Farah is shopping for a party dress. Okie dokie, how much more do we need to go? We are almost done. Just 2 more exercise. 13.6. Describe what each person is wearing using the words in the panel, speaking out loud. So we have, he's wearing checked pajamas. If you are from America and you want to say checkered, I will accept it personally. That is fine with me. If you want to say plaid, I will accept that too because it's a type of pattern on the outfit. So checkered, plaid, these are US terminology. Checked is British because I don't think we use that here. Maybe in other parts of America, maybe they do, but here we call it checkered or plaid. 1, he's wearing boots with blank. 2, she's wearing a blank with large blank. 3, he's wearing a jacket with a blank. 4, she's wearing a blank dress with black blank. She's wearing blank sandals. Okay, and our word choices are leather, smart, laces, cardigan, high heels, zip, and buttons. I'm gonna go ahead and use this moment to let you guys look at this again. And if you're watching this after my stream, good on you because you can pause the video and try to solve this. I'm gonna turn off my camera for a second and leave this on the screen because I need to drink some water right now because my throat is parched at this moment. So yeah, let me turn off the video for a second. Boom. Meanwhile, here's some water ASMR. And I should be back. I'm gonna turn on the camera again. Here we are. I am back with water. More water. Alrighty, hopefully that's enough time for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and give you the answers. Number 1, we have he's wearing, oopsies, let's go red. He's wearing boots with, if you can't see what it is, I'm gonna zoom in. It's a little bit hard to see. What does his boots have? Laces. I remember when I did this with my students, sometimes it's just process of elimination, which means you fill in everything else if you don't know what it is and you can't see it. Fill up everything else first and then you'll find this one. I remember number 2 was kind of confusing because we're saying she's wearing a blank with large what. So let me see if I remember it. So she's wearing a blank, I think it's cardigan. So she's wearing a cardigan with large buttons. And that should be the answer. Next one we have cross on buttons. He's wearing a jacket with a, they say zip, but if you say zipper, I will take that, because zipper is US, zip is UK. Number 4, she's wearing a blank dress with black blank. So she's wearing a smart dress. Again, this is pronounced as, this is the vocabulary for UK. If you want to use US, you can say she's wearing a business dress. Just say business. Again, it's kind of hard to distinguish it because we need to see the style. I think from here she could probably be wearing something business or business casual. So I'm gonna put in parentheses dash casual, because business casual is 2 words, business casual. So it could be business dress or business casual dress with black heels. Good. Oh, they put high heels. You can say high heels or you can just say heels. And notice why I said heels is because it's not too high. I feel like what would be considered high heels is that if it's greater than 3 inches. So like 3 inches and taller, I would call it high heels. If it's 1 inch or 2 inches, it's not too high. So I would say it's just a small elevation of the heel. But I would typically drop it and say heels because it's not too tall. Again, it's just, it could also be personal preference as well. So you, again, I'm putting in presentation. I'm putting it in parenthesis. So if you want to drop high heels in high heels, then that's fine. Sorry, if you want to drop high in high heels, that's fine. If you want to just say heels, it's okay too. Or high heels, it's fine. I don't care. But since this is a grammar book, you do have to write the whole thing. So I get it, I guess. And finally, process of elimination, we have one last one. So she's wearing leather sandals. Boom, that's it. Let me check for time. We have 1 minute left. I'm gonna squeeze this in, so hopefully we'll get this all done in one video, because I do want to end today's lesson. I've been on a off tangent spiel today because it's been a long day and I tend to go off tangent sometimes. So listen to the audio and decide who bought each item of clothing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the audio for you and play it twice. So this is 13.5, I think, right? I'm double checking. Yeah, 13.7. I'm also gonna make sure that the audio is low. So it's blasted on high for me. And then I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio for you. I will play it twice, and I will also put up the page so you guys can see it.
Hi, Kim. Are you having a good day's shopping?
Hi, Dominic. Yes, I've had fun buying a few things for myself. I just bought these brown suede boots I'm wearing. What do you think?
They're great, Kim. Very stylish. I especially like the zips. I'm also wearing something I bought today. This top. I'm not sure about the collar, but I like the stripes. I also got some boots, but mine have laces.
It's a really nice top, Dominic. I love big collars like that. And I also like the boots. I've been buying a few casual clothes. A jacket with a yellow zip, and a lovely green cardigan with black buttons. Good for when it gets cold. Oh, And I also got a pair of denim jeans and a leather belt.
Sounds great. I've been buying a few things for the family. Pink polka dot pajamas for Alice and blue and orange checked pajamas for Ben. They love colourful clothes, so I hope they like them.
I'm sure they will, Dominic.
Alright, I'm gonna play it one more time for you guys.
Hi, Kim. Are you having a good day's shopping?
Hi, Dominic. Yes, I've had fun buying a few things for myself. I just bought these brown suede boots I'm wearing. What do you think?
They're great, Kim. Very stylish. I especially like the zips. I'm also wearing something I bought today. This top. I'm not sure about the collar, but I like the stripes. I also got some boots, but mine have laces.
It's a really nice top, Dominic. I love big collars like that. And I also like the boots. I've been buying a few casual clothes. A jacket with a yellow zip, and a lovely green cardigan with black buttons. Good for when it gets cold. Oh, and I also got a pair of denim jeans and a leather belt.
Sounds great. I've been buying a few things for the family. Pink polka dot pajamas for Alice and blue and orange checked pajamas for Ben. They love colourful clothes, so I hope they like them.
I'm sure they will, Dominic.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and compare your answers. So basically we're just pairing who is talking or who received a certain item from either Dominic or Kim. Yeah, that's about it. So number one, or the example, we mentioned that Kim got new boots for herself. Number one, we heard Dominic mention that he has a new shirt. Number two, we have Dominic also bought new boots for himself. Number three, we heard that there's a jacket with a zip for Kim, or zipper. Number four, we have a cardigan. I believe this is for Kim again. And number five, we got trousers or pants. We got this one for Kim as well. Finally, we have someone mentioning that they brought something for the family. That is Dominic. So he got a pink polka dot pajama. And he also got a checkered pajama as well too. So it should be Dominic, Dominic, Kim, 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 Dominic, Dominic. All right. So we arrived at our checklist here. We have present continuous, clothes and fashion, and describing clothes. Review the English you have learned in units 7 to 13. We have job or work. We have adverbs of frequency, description of frequency, word order, adverbs of frequency with word order with be, phrasal verbs, adjective order, and present continuous. I recommend you guys watch my previous grammar videos because I have already covered all of these there. I tried to do at least 2 chapters if applicable. Today was a little bit forced because I did have a lot of side ramblings with grammar lessons today. But other than that, I would typically do just 1 lesson at a time so I can just give my whole attention to it. So yeah, that is it for today's session. Next week, we will be looking at rooms and furniture, and we will also be looking at daily routines. So it looks like it'll be 2 chapters next week again, too. We shall see. I will be preparing questions before I go back to... let me see. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about... My brain at this point is just fried, so I can barely even keep my eyes open. I'm just so tired, as you guys probably can tell. Yeah, it's been a long day for me. So let me close my eyes for a second because I'm trying to concentrate on what I want to say. So after today's stream, I'm gonna download the PDFs and post this on my Discord server. It's gonna be listed under live streams. So I'm gonna show you guys very briefly where to find it. This is the Homebody Cafe. So we are gonna go under the lounge area and go to live stream notes. You will find my grammar in here. If you can't find it, you can always edit what kind of tags are here. So go ahead and go under grammar, and it'll show only all the labels here that I listed as grammar. So yeah, everything should be there and you guys should be good. 32 was also, 31 is also grammar related because we talked about certain verbs. So sometimes it's not related to the book, but if it's grammar related, that's what I typically do. So you can find all my notes here. Let me see. We do grammar. I want to see. Yeah, this one. So as you can see here, I did have conversation practice on that. Let me see. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the grammar so I can show you an example of what it looks like. All right, here we are. So I would post the itinerary, which is what we did that day. We have extra support files that I created for language learners. So if you guys want to make one of your own, you can support me by purchasing them from my Ko-fi page. And then I have the link here for the video, and then the notes that I covered for that day of. So everything is all here. And of course, if you choose to subscribe to me on Ko-fi, I do give you homework. So for example, I'm gonna click this one for chapter 9. I click the link and then you have access to the PDF file. So the only people who could access that link is if you are a Ko-fi subscriber, so you can already access that. And if you are a Ko-fi subscriber, Ko-fi Homebody, you have access to these 3 pages. So everyone else cannot access it. It's just exclusively for Ko-fi Homebodies. But yeah, that's about it in terms of where you can find all of the videos. I'm gonna turn off grammar so you can access all 32 videos after today, or 32, because this is a 30-second video. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and minimize that. Also, welcome 123S548. Thank you for joining me. We're about almost done with today's stream. So I'm moving back to the presentation. We have just finished English for Everyone. So we have arrived at our at our final segment, which is questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, or QCCS, which is what I like to call them. If you guys have any questions for anything that we learned today, if you have questions about my teaching method or the book or anything else, feel free to leave a comment in the YouTube video, because I will be ending the stream very, very soon because I am exhausted. I'm very, very tired. So come in tomorrow. It's gonna be tomorrow morning for me, most likely tomorrow evening for you guys if you are from Southeastern Asia. I will be addressing the vocabulary that we learned today in today's grammar lessons and make them into a conversational practice for you guys. So yeah, come in tomorrow for that. And I will do that again for Thursday, so we have extra conversation practice with this. Other than that, I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Drink water, stay hydrated, which is what I'm doing. Eat something healthy if you haven't eaten yet. Stay safe. I know it might be raining for a lot of places right now. It's raining like cats and dogs in California at the moment, so stay warm. Don't get sick. Get lots of rest. My eyes are getting droopy at this point because I'm just like so tired. I'm ready to sleep. Alrighty, other than that, I wish you guys well, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So cheers, and see you tomorrow morning from my end, possibly evening your end. And yeah, also last thing before I forget, as a reminder, I have conversation practice. I did not change it. Oh no, it's supposed to be Tuesday through Thursday at 5 a.m. So it's not going to be the same anymore. I think this is an old presentation, so I forgot to update it. English for Everyone, which is today, was at 8 p.m. today. And then you can access it through Discord. You guys can access it if you are on my Instagram. Just go to my profile page, open the link. You should be able to find the Discord button, and that'll throw you into the Discord server. It's free, and this is where people can engage and practice English. If you are using YouTube, the link is in the description box, so you can just open that and find a Discord link, and you'll jump in right in. So again, it's just free. It's just easier for you to find materials and hear news about what's going on in the Homebody Cafe. So yeah, again, cheers guys. I'm gonna go knock out. I am so tired. We're gonna see what happens tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye. Take care.